All right, everyone. How are you guys? Today is Thursday, August 6th, and we are about to start. And we are actually just have with us tonight as well, Christine Case. Mrs. Donna Fox has probably taken a break, a well-deserved break. She's been working really hard this week. So she's probably looking at us right now, laughing and enjoying the show. So, guys, it's going to be a fast-paced, day today. We're going to be covering a lot of the stuff that we did in the second day, with the main difference that we're going to work as, with Christine. Say hi, Christine. How are you?
Great, thank you.
Awesome. And, well, as always, David is with us here tonight, just burning the midnight oil. David is actually half around the world. Right now it's probably midnight, to be exact. So, as always, we appreciate David making the effort to be with us. And certainly it's going to be fun tonight. And as always, while we actually just, get into things, there is no major announcements. But David, I do believe that Groove video is going to be released really soon, right?
So either tonight or the first thing in the morning. We are working on a couple of last-minute updates that are just going through, and after that, we are going to be deploying Groove video. So that is coming. Yes.
Awesome. So for all of you guys out there that are impatiently waiting for a Groove video, it's happening. I know it had a little delay, but it is going to be out there really soon. So with that said, we're gonna just go over what we're gonna be discussing today. We're gonna have a lot of things to do today with working with Christine, and she's gonna take control in a few minutes, and she's gonna be pretty much working with us on how to set up certain things for the Groovekart. So her and I are gonna be working on the step-by-steps. And just like we did with Mrs. Donna Fox last time, but in this case, we're actually working with Christine at her store. So what we're going to be doing now is, in a few seconds, right after I do the presentation and about the dashboard and the admin control and get to know the dashboard and the navigation, we're going to start doing the setup of Christine's store. As you know, for those that are in the first time here, which by the way, let's, by a press of a number 1, who's here for the first time? Let's just press a number 1, or just leave a comment. It's my first time here at this live. So I see Ron, Leona, Darcy. Hello, everybody. So let us know. Let's see how many ones we get. We got a couple already. Let's see. All right, Montbrunum by Design is got a new 1, and also hello from the Netherlands from Rob Loverson and Osuna Baby TV as well. So great to have you guys here. Again, what we're talking about today is the setup for your Groovekart. For all of those that purchased, of course, your Groovekart, you're going to have the ability to create your own e-commerce website, and of course, get that side hustle going on, just like Christine is doing, right, Christine?
That's right. I'm excited.
Well, and so we are. So let me just run really quickly right now on the new dashboard and admin controls. So I'm going to just have probably a couple of screenshots, and then Christine is going to show her screen, because the whole exercise during the next 7 weeks is for her to show you guys how everything is done. And the way that we're going to be doing is like we did it like last time. I'm going to be just giving the instructions, and we're going to be showcasing Christine's store. And maybe for those that haven't been with us in the past week, Christine was selected as the winner for our very first Groovekart challenge, and we're showcasing her process because we just want to take advantage of the fact that we are growing as a community, but we're giving also the chance for our users to take the lead and start working with us in how to improve their stores and how to create their stores. So let me just move the actual slide, and let me introduce you guys to this beautiful fella right here, which is the new dashboard. And Christine is going to show us in a second also, but I want to have a screenshot of it and in our little slide, because I want to make sure that we remember that this is constantly evolving, constantly changing. And the reason why is because sometimes our developers make improvements in the software. And if you go back in our Facebook group and you take a look at the day 2 from the first channel, from the first challenge, I'm sorry, you're going to realize that, oh, there's many more links here. What happened? So this time we actually reduced the amount of links in the actual main dashboard, but we added functionality. So which we're going to see that in a second. Now, right after that, right after we start working with the dashboard, is going to be setup time. We're going to have pretty much step-by-step where to put your store information, your logos, payment methods, domain names, staff accounts, contact form, and international settings. Also, we're going to see a couple of settings that we're not going to be touching base today because we're just going to do the simple setup. Why the simple setup? Because it's our second day, and we're going to take the same approach that we did last time. So, and the little note says, along the 8 weeks, we'll be talking about taxes and shipping because those are the two biggest situations that most of our users encounter when they're actually setting up their store. So, with that said, now I'm going to give the controls to Christine, and she's going to show her screen. And David, if you can please assist Christine, I'll appreciate it on making the change. And Christine, whenever you're ready, perfect. I think now we have your screen, so you can minimize that window if you're fine. And let's take a look at what you have on the screen. Perfect. Oh, I see that you're logged in your screen already, in your store.
Yes.
So let's maximize that window if you don't mind. So it will take over your whole screen. Perfect. Now, let's just check with our audience. Guys, can we see everybody, Christine's screen right now? Les Lobo says that my audio is noisy and my speech is choppy. Can everybody else confirm that? Is everybody hear me okay? Or there is a background noise?
It's better now.
So there is a slight background noise, John, when you are speaking a bit away from the mic. When you come closer, then it's a bit better.
It's better. Yes, I just as I was talking early to Dave, I actually had to change my mic. But can everybody hear me okay now? Perfect. Thank you, Mompreneur. Appreciate it. Gary Sharp says it's fine. Drew Anderson is fine. Awesome. Yeah, it's just I had a little device here going around, so I had to turn it off. Now I'm glad that everybody can hear me. But let's go back to the start of the show. So, Christine, just a little bit of background. We're going to be doing this for, it's going to be a store related for firemen, right? So, awesome. And for those who haven't really know the complete story, take a look at the recordings in YouTube or in our Facebook page. So, what we're going to do right now is the basic setup. So, right now, what we're looking at, Christine, is your basic settings page. You're going to have your store info, your payment methods, your domain, your shipping, your taxes, your staff accounts, email, international settings, as well as pixels and feed. So what I want you to do is please go and click your store info. Let's just start from there. Awesome. So right there is where you guys are going to add your information. So I know that at the moment, maybe we don't have a logo yet because we're going to be working on that in the next, I believe it's day 3. We're going to have a little bit of graphics, but today we're going to just do the basic setup. So you do have your store name right now as firemanzone.com, right?
Yes.
Perfect. So the store phone number, if you don't want to use your number or if you don't want to make that number public, you don't have to. So you can leave that empty, or if you have a business line, please feel free to add that in there. So now Christine is adding the information. The store email is actually support at firemanzone at groovekart.com, and the address. Now, here's an important detail, guys. If you don't want to have your address, just put your city and your country and city, or even your city and state. A lot of people always ask us at the support desk, should we actually have an address. Do we really need to have an address? Not really. Most of us work out of our homes, especially when we're doing something online. So it's better off to have just maybe your city and state, and maybe the country, and that's it. So if you don't mind, Christine, let's erase that part. If that was your real address, let's just remove that.
No, that's a business address.
Oh, so you do have a physical address, right?
Yeah, a
If
business
you do,
address. Uh-huh.
oh, perfect. Sorry, I was assuming that maybe it was your private address. So guys, we're gonna just keep moving. So now this is important. SEO information for homepage. This is if you want to enable your contact us page. And we do want to enable the contact us page. There's a lot of people asking us that on a daily basis. Why is my contact us form not going to the right page? So let's click over there. And wow, I think somebody has the same situation that Mrs. Donna Fox has, a very quickly finger. And always clicking ahead, but I love that. And I see David in the background laughing, but hey, let's just click on there. And I know that most of you guys are gonna have a chuckle, but hey, we're here to have fun and to learn. So here's the important part. Right now, in order to avoid a situation that we confronted a year ago, we receive a lot of spam and a lot of emails, a lot of unwanted stuff. So we decided to create something called the CAPTCHA. The CAPTCHA helps us to control what kind of information goes through the form. So in order to do this, and I know that the information that I'm going to be providing in a second, it requires a Gmail account. So Christine, safe to assume you do have a Gmail account, right?
Correct.
Awesome. So since you have an account, let's just click on the link. You see that it says Google reCAPTCHA. It has said something, and then there is, please click here, right under Google reCAPTCHA version 2. Click there for a second, please. Now, this window is to set up the Google reCAPTCHA. And why is this important? Again, this is the way that Google is taking the approach to control all the amount of information that you get through that form. So it's a way to kind of deter certain things and kind of stop spamming and spammers. So we gotta set it up. Now, as you can see, you have your account logged in, right? Is that your correct account, Christine?
That's my other account, not my Fireman. I don't have Fireman is not a Google. Yeah.
Okay, no worries. But as long as you have control on this account is the most important part. And I think as long as you can control the keys and it's your personal account, or it could be a company account or something that you can use with your own domain. But the most important part is has to be a Google account. So as long as you have access to it, perfect. So what we're going to do next is actually take a look at the little plus sign that is in the top right corner. We're going to click in that plus, and then we're going to just start, filling out the form. Let's start with the label. The label will be firemanson.com, or just firemanson if you don't mind. And now the reCAPTCHA type, we're going to select the version 2. We don't want to select the version 3 because that might give us an error. Now, in the settings, in those 3 options, you want to just have the reCAPTCHA I'm not a robot CAPTCHA, so that's fine. And now we're going to add the domain. Now, here's the important part. We do have 3 options to add the domain. Right now, in Christine's case, we're using the subdomain. So we can use firemanson.groovekart.com. Yep, you can type it over there. Perfect. Now we're gonna just select accept the reCAPTCHA in the terms of service. Now click submit. And it's gonna add that information. And as you see, if you go back to your store for a moment, to the tab that you have your store open, you'll see that you have those two areas that you can actually copy and paste that information. So we're going to just copy the website key, go back. Perfect. Now we're going to paste it. Now the secret key. And then just paste as well. And then we're going to scroll up and we're going to click save. Now, we're going to be doing something in a second that actually has to do with the domain name. So what we're going to do is go back to the reCAPTCHA tab, if you don't mind, Christine, please. And we're going to just go back, just click back for a second, or go to settings, perfect. Now scroll up for a moment. And let's see if we can add another domain. You can actually, you see the plus where it says domains, right under domains in that little plus where you have firemanson.com. Click on the plus. And now I believe you're going to use also firemanson.com, correct?
Yes.
Perfect. So let's just add that domain as well. And we can just scroll down and click submit. And since we already have the keys, and they're going to be the same, so we don't have to redo the process. So now you can close that, since we are in, we have another window open for your store. So you can close the reCAPTCHA, it's already set up, and pretty much ready. So now, as you can see, if you go all the way up, and you're going to see the little link that says save, your little button, let's just click save. Awesome. Now, whenever we open our contact us page, we're going to see a form that is controlled by, of course, the system, but is filtered by the reCAPTCHA with Google that allows to protect our page of being spammed and completely bombarded with unwanted emails. So moving right along, let's just scroll all the way down, because that is another portion that I want to make sure we cover. While we set up the store, we do have an option to disable the store, but then we need to make sure that we can enable it later. So because if right now we disabled your store to visitors, if you just move that tab, what it will happen is whenever people go to firemanson.groovekart.com, they will see just a message, an empty message. So this is an option that we have in order to, limit the options of people seeing your progress. And we will probably do that at the end of today's today's session, so we can actually see how that works. But at the moment, let's just put it in the off position and just make sure that it's red. Perfect. Now let's just scroll all the way back up, please, and we're gonna just move to the next step, which is one of the most important ones, and is the payment methods. So now, Christine, let me ask you a question. You're being, in the market recently, you start working with some other stuff, you're selling some jewelry as well. Safe to assume you have a couple of merchant accounts, or maybe a merchant processing account, which is, it could be Stripe, it could be PayPal, it could be authorized.net, or very own GroovePay. Which one do you currently use right now, or which one would you like to use in your store?
I currently use both Stripe and PayPal. So I would just use probably Stripe.
Perfect. All right, and so let's set up Stripe, and let's just click connect. It will actually just activate the settings. It will say, hey, you're ready to set up your store. Now, a settings button will appear, right? So that's the second step. When you click settings, it will show you the publishable key and secret key. Now, the next step, I am going to ask you to give me controls of my screen, because I have an account that I have set up just for the example of how to set up Stripe. So give me 1 second, Christine, and then I'm going to take over the screen. And the only reason why I'm doing this is because, you're one of our users. We are about to access a Stripe account, and we don't want to reveal any information that we shouldn't, because there's a recording of this. I don't mind because this is a setup account that we have, a test account, but most likely I just want to just make sure that we protect your privacy. So give me 1 second while I access my Stripe account so I can show you guys where to get that information. One moment, and it will be there in a second. It will be the same process like Christine will have to do, but I'm using my account as an example since this is just a test account. So bear with me one moment, and while I do this, then I'm going to take control over the actual screen so I can show you guys. So my computer is a little slow here. Let me log in. I want to get an email right now by Stripe with a code, and we'll be able to enter my store test. Give me just 1 second. Oh, as a matter of fact, I already entered. So I'm going to show my screen right now. Let me see. David, can I? Thank you. All right. So this is my account for testing Stripe. And what you need to do, and probably you can follow along, Christine, since we're not showing your screen. What we need to get that information is right here from the Developers tab. Once you enter your dashboard in Stripe, you have the Developers tab that will have your API keys and your webhooks and everything. So once you show your API keys, that's where you actually need to copy and paste. So as Christine was just showing right now, we have 2 areas where we do the copy and paste. So you go to your Stripe account, you go to your developer section, and then you copy the information on your store, on the publishable key and the secret key. One important point here, guys, and this is very important that you guys take this in consideration. Like any other system, Stripe will have to protect themselves to tests. So make sure that whatever you do, this corner right here is completely off. Because if you have your view test data, if I turn this on, it will change the tokens and the APIs, and it will say test data. This could be used greatly if you're testing your process and if you're testing your card, and these tokens are different. So if you decide to start this way with your test data, please, pretty please with sugar on top, make sure that you change it to the live keys, which are different. How did you identify your live keys from your test keys? Right here. It says it's right. It just kind of just says, hey, this is a test. PK test. And of course, the secret key will also have PK test. Very important. Take a look at your test data whenever you're going live. So this has to be off. The data that you need is got to be the live one.
John, can you please zoom in a bit? People are not seeing it correctly.
Oh, sure. No worries. Let me just.
Perfect.
Would that be okay, guys? Awesome. So right here, the API keys under your Stripe dashboard, make sure that view test data is off. If it's on, you're going to see this. You're going to see a lot of orange. Orange means danger. So you don't want to put these keys because once you go live, you're going to have a lot of fun with accepting payments. So just make sure that you work with your live keys. And Christine, how are we doing? Did you get your 2 keys already?
No, I can't find where you went to get the API.
Okay, so let me, so you are in dashboard, right? In Stripe?
Yes.
All right. So you must have a link on your left navigation that says developers. Right?
Yes.
All right. So now on developers, you're going to have one that says API keys.
Got it.
All righty. So you can get those 2 sections there. And you can just create a small document and copy paste the keys. And let me know once you have that inside of your Groovekart store so we can move forward. In the meantime, guys, while Christine finishes that up, let's just take a look at a couple of questions. David, do we have any questions so far right now?
There is one big one that I want you to answer. When you were setting up the things in the settings in Groovekart, Lisa Dale has a question. Is the store address in settings linked to taxation?
Not really. The taxes will be manually controlled because it can vary per country. And their store is flexible enough to understand that wherever you're located, it will have to be set up according to certain countries. For example, in the United States, every single state is different when it comes to taxes. So whenever you set up your store, you have to let know the store, hey, I'm in this location, but you have to do it manually. And of course, you can control what percentages on taxes you can change. And on taxes and shipping, which are the two biggest sections, I know in day 3 and 4, that's where we focus more on those settings. So stay tuned for those 2 days where we're going to be talking more in depth about the shipping settings and the tax settings.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. So, and any other questions right now?
There is one. Do I have to set up payment if electronic products I sell is perfect free? I just need Groovekart to help me manage products and customers.
You don't have to set up a payment, but then again, the system might not work as good if you don't set a price. And what I say by that is you have to put a value on the product. Let's say in this case the value is 0, because then how would you process the order? And I know that you just want to manage your digital products, but still we have to capture the address of the customer, the email address, where you want that shipped out. So in order to complete the process, we might need to bypass maybe the payment option, but you still need to have some sort of platform where you, well, not platform, but an area where you customers can put their delivery information, you know, and maybe if even if it's a digital product, you still need to get a name, an email address, and so forth. And by the way, with the new updates that we're doing for Groovekart, I believe in September, end of August, September, we're going to have recurring payments. So you got to definitely stay tuned for the upcoming changes, because we're going to have the ability for you guys to charge and continue to charge your customers on a monthly basis or on a bi-weekly basis. So the recurring payments are going to be there. And also it's going to be better management for digital products. So it's going to be fun. Now, let's see. I do have another question. Carolee Petrovsky asked, I'm trying to set up PayPal and Groovekart is asking for a client ID, but PayPal is offering Sandbox. Carolee, I'm going to make a stop almost at the end of tonight's presentation, but I'll definitely address your question. So David, please remind me. So Christine, did we got the info together now?
I put that into my Stripe account on my Groovekart.
Awesome. So let me just give you back the presenter rights right now. So awesome. So if you don't mind, click on your settings so we can actually see. You see, guys, she put the same information that we have, the publishable key and the secret key. So it's pretty much the same info that I just shared, but we did it this way so Christine can complete her process without revealing her information, because again, it's about the payments. So let's click save there. And now it's always good to have a backup when it comes to payments and when it comes to the way that we accept money from our customers. So a lot of people have PayPal as an option, and that's why Carolee's question comes in greatly. But in some instances, PayPal will require a business account. And pardon me. And when PayPal does that, that means that your account is a personal account and you need to convert it. That's probably why, Carolee, you're looking at a Sandbox. So if you can confirm that, in fact, your account is a business account, then once we go to the next step and I'll show you how to set it up, then we can maybe see, or you can actually see for yourself if it's indeed a business account or a personal account. Now, Christine, do you have a eBay? I'm sorry, not eBay, but PayPal, right?
Yes.
And are you currently using it for your business?
Yes, I am.
Would you like to set up your PayPal address and your PayPal settings so you can receive that as a backup payment, and so you can also give options to your buyers.
Yes, that would be great.
Awesome. So let's just click on connect. And we'll set up PayPal in a second. And as you can see, guys, there's other options for us to set up payments, but it's always good to have two. However, there's just one little caveat. Right there where Christine is right now, you have Stripe, PayPal, Nuvi, Authorize.net, Uviva, and Card Payment. You can activate two at a time, but you cannot activate two of the same at a time. And what I mean the same is you cannot have a Stripe with Uviva or NMI or Nuvi. Why? Because those are processors. And PayPal is pretty much a different animal altogether, and you can set it up combining any of the 4 or the 5, but two of the same you cannot combine, meaning you cannot have Stripe and Nuvi, or Stripe or Nuvi and Authorize.net, because they use the same security settings. So it's a little bit of conflict situation there. We don't want to create that. So that's why we can actually allow one and PayPal. So PayPal will be kind of the wild card in the whole payment processing situation. So now, since PayPal is active, let's just click on settings, if you don't mind. And pretty much the same situation. Now we have the PayPal settings. And the very first link that you said, please visit, there's a link right below the blue bar. If you don't mind clicking there, and it's going to open in a new window. It's going to open your PayPal account, and it's going to ask you to log in. Just make sure that you have all your passwords hidden, please. Oh, they're hidden. Awesome. Let's just click login. And it's going to take us to the development area. Ooh. Is that the right account, Christine?
Yes, it is.
All right, let's try it again. Now we're cooking. Awesome. So as you can see, it took us to a way or an area that is actually what Carol was talking. Hey, it's actually telling me to do and only to activate the sandbox. Now, if you you can actually close that little pop-up that it was on the bottom, Christine, if you don't mind. Yes, accept cookies. You can actually just, yeah, that's fine. Now, if you scroll up again, I'm sorry. Right there, you see my apps and credentials. You see right now, this account that Christine is actually accessing is on the sandbox. Can you click where it says live, please? Perfect. Now, we know that this is a business account because it didn't ask us to upgrade. Sometimes when we are actually doing the setups, and oh, Carolee just confirmed that it's a business account. So Carolee, once you're doing your setup, it will be the same thing that that Christine is looking at right now. So your apps and credentials will have the two options, either the sandbox or the live. Please be really careful as well. Why? If we put the APIs of the sandbox, once you create the link for the payment or somebody pays using your PayPal, what is going to happen, PayPal is going to hold the money for 30 days for that customer, and it's going to release it back to them. So you don't want that. You want to make sure that you use the live APIs. And how do we create the right information? So let's go ahead, Christine, and click where it says create app. Right under it. Perfect. And we're going to just name the app. So we can use probably the name of the website, or maybe Groovekart, or maybe GK, Fireman Zone, or any name that you would like to probably put in that app. Perfect. Now, if you click create app, it's going to do its thing. It's going to just start processing things, live credentials, PayPal account, client ID, and secret. So go back for a second, please, if you don't mind, Christine, to your store, to the tab where you have your store. And it's asking for the client ID and the secret ID. So let's go ahead and copy the client ID first. Perfect. and then the secret ID. I think if you click on the action button just to copy, I think that will be the easiest way. Oh, it's not giving you the option. So you can just highlight everything.
Everything here?
Yeah. As soon as you click, it will highlight it for sure. So
Okay.
Perfect. So let's just do that. Paste. Boom. Click save. Now, once we click save, as just Christine did, what it will happen is now you have two options for payment, which is PayPal as well as Stripe. So now you have two options. Why it's always good to have two? Not only if something happens with the funds in either account, for some reason PayPal decided to stop accepting your payments, or they hold your money, you want to make sure that you keep operating, so you have Stripe. And besides, PayPal and Stripe have very similar price points. So now that we have set up, let's move on, shall we? Christine, thank you very much. You're doing awesome. Now, I hope that everybody is following us and taking notes. Make sure that you can do this, because anybody can. So let's just go to the domain. Now, this is where everything gets fun, because now we're getting to the identity of the site. So we're going to go to the domain name. And I believe you already purchased your domain, right?
Yes, I have.
Awesome. So let's just go over the question. It says that, do you have a domain that you would like to use on Groovekart? You're going to say yes. And we're going to type in the domain name. Perfect. Now it's going to show a couple of things on the bottom. Oh, I believe it's there already. Yep, it is. So it's going to show the domain on the top on the list. And now, Christine, where did you actually purchase your domain? Was it in GoDaddy, Namecheap, or?
It was a Namecheap.
Namecheap. Okay, that's, for some reason, that's one of the top three, and I just mentioned it off the top of my head because a lot of people buy names in GoDaddy, NameSilo, and Namecheap. So let's just go for a second to Namecheap. Oh, I think we have a visitor just now joining us in. So whenever you're ready, Donna, just come in and say hi.
Hey, so sorry I am late today. I'm just swamped.
It's quite all right. So it's so nice to have you here. Christine right now is doing an awesome job setting up her store. We are already on the payment situation. We did already a couple of things on the store info. We're moving now to the domain, so she's actually putting everything together. So
awesome. Well, carry on. I don't mean to interrupt. I'm just late to the party here today.
No, it's okay. I kind of figured that, we spoke earlier and you were swamped. So
it's one of those days.
All right. Anyway, so let's keep moving. So Christine, let's just go back to domain and let's make sure that your domain is listed there. Yeah, for some reason, it just jumped you back to the payment side. And you see it right now is there, right? Is the domain name listed?
Yes.
Awesome. So now what we're going to be doing is let's just go into your Namecheap account. And again, just make sure that all your passwords are hidden. And we're going to do a couple of changes. And before we open that Namecheap page, take a look at the third or fourth line on that blue box. Those settings are called the DNS address, or your custom name servers, right? Or your domain name servers, I'm sorry. Yeah. So you want to probably just copy those two, because Apollo and Uma are going to be the settings that connect your website or your domain name into the Groovekart site. So just probably keep that open, but let's open your Namecheap account page. Awesome. Oh, you're there already. Now you definitely catch my drift when I said let's just log into kind of a privacy mode, and I forgot that you have to screen. So that's awesome. So now what you need to do is, and I believe you've done it already, just locate your custom DNS. And I think somebody is suffering the same situation that Mrs. Donna Fox suffered in the first thing. I mean, she always liked to be ahead. So I love that. So you see, She didn't even let me explain where to change things, and she already done it. So that's awesome. I love that.
Christine, you claimed you weren't going to do that last week, but there you go, man. Now call her Speedy Gonzalez.
That was actually already there because I had it attached to something else before. So yeah, so that was already there.
Perfect. So, but you see, right now, where we are, and all of those that actually have purchased domains with Namecheap, you can change that where it says the custom DNS right there, and in those two lines, you just copy and paste, and then just save that information. What it will happen now is in the next 12 to 24 hours, anybody that types firemanson.com, it will end up at the store, at the Groovekart store. So let's just click save. And maybe if you have it before, maybe it's already there. So we're going to test that for you for sure to see if the domain works. So I believe everything is ready there. So let's click save. Let's just close that for the moment. And let's open another tab and let's type the domain. Let's just type firemanson.com. Let's see what happens. Oh, it's there. Nice. I guess the DNS were populated way before. So that's what's happening. Let's just make sure that that is the store. Give me just 1 second. I'm testing something here. Can you scroll down for a bit, please? Let's see, because I don't believe it's pointing to the right place. But it's probably just still doing the change. Now, so you can close that for a second if you don't mind, Christine, since we now find out that it is indeed resulting in your Groovekart. So let's just close that because we don't want to go too much ahead of ourselves because that's the process. So now, since we have the domain and the payment systems, right now we're almost ready. So let's scroll up all the way, and let's go with the next one, which is shipping. This will actually be one of the critical points in any business. Okay, the way that we set this up is depending on the products, the sizes, heights, weights, all these craziness that we might probably use. However, for the sake of time and since we at this moment we don't know the product that we're going to have with Christine, we're going to kind of leave the settings right now as they are, because we're going to be working dependent on the products that she selects. I believe we're going to go, as we discussed in the first last week, we're going to go with print-on-demand items, right, Christine?
Yes.
We're going to start working with T-shirts and other products from a couple of our sources. So let's move right away, and let's just start taxes. Let's just touch a little bit on taxes so we can display a couple of things that I want to make sure that people understand. And remember, guys, down the road, within the actual 60-day challenge, we're going to have a complete session on taxes and shipping, as we did last time. Now, there's just a simple option. Do you want to enable taxes? Yes, you want to. There's 3 things that you will never get away with. And one of them is taxes. So as you can see, we have 3 options here. You can automatically or manually calculate your tax rates, or you can use a tax jar. Tax jar is actually a third-party vendor that allows you to actually just compile all your taxes and just provide you all the settings depending on your state, so you don't have to deal with that. One little thing, I believe there's a charge for that. I don't remember exactly how much tax jar is, but you can find out when you click on it and you try to create an account. Again, I am not 100% sure. I don't know if the rates have gone up, maybe less, but I don't want to provide any wrong information. However, just for the sake of having the activity done, let's just manually enter your tax rates. So if you scroll down, you're going to have an area. I'm sorry, it's actually up on the button that says Add Custom Tax. You can click there at the bottom. I'm sorry, at the top. What am I saying bottom? At the top in that button.
There is nothing up there.
Right in the top right corner, Add Custom Tax.
No, top. All
Yeah,
the way.
yeah, sorry. Just instead of saying at the top button, I said at the bottom. So sorry. So then, of course, you can select your country. I believe you still are in America, the United States.
I am. Haven't moved yet.
You haven't moved yet. Yeah, we know once your store is doing really good, probably you're going to move to some small country in the Caribbean.
Hmm.
And then your state. And I can barely remember, is that the zip code? Yeah, zip code, perfect.
Behavior.
The state tax, if you don't
This
mind, remember the options.
This tax only, combined, or one after another?
I believe small businesses in your state, do they pay what kind of state tax, right? So this will be the state tax, I believe. So just this tax only, I guess.
Okay.
Tax name will be the state tax, I guess, is something that you can just put state tax. And then the tax rate. Some states vary. I know in Florida it's 7%, depending on the county. Some other counties is 65%. California and Nevada, they do have higher taxes, right, Mrs. Fox?
I wish that I knew the answer to my state sales tax. I have no idea. Isn't that crazy? I do know we have no income tax though, so I like that. That's why I'm here.
That's why you moved to Vegas.
That's right.
And Christine, safe to assume you know the state tax in your state. So that's pretty much it, the one that you want to charge right now. And as I said, it's just to complete the exercise. For any tax situation, guys, if you don't know, if you're starting your business, it's always consult the knowledge of a tax professional or an accountant. Don't
4.6% in Nevada, by the way, not very high at all.
Oh wow!
So,
I think I'm gonna move to Nevada.
I'm trying to get you to move here, actually. So, yes.
It'll be fun. All right, so let's just keep scrolling down, and I believe there's just the description will be your state tax. So, and then let's just click save. I believe there's a save button down there somewhere. I cannot see it. That's why I'm guessing.
Yeah, it won't let me scroll anymore.
Okay, so can you actually just maybe decrease the size of your screen by pressing the magnifying settings in your Chrome? It did something, so it's saving it probably.
I don't know what it did it, whatever it was.
It did probably save the settings. So let's just wait for just a moment. And this is the wonderful part when we're working live. So we will know in a second if everything just takes over normally. And if we get an error, of course, we will find out as well. In the meantime, while that process, let's just take a look at more questions. David, do we have any other questions since we're close to the hour right now? Nope, there's no questions.
No questions so far.
All righty. So as you can see, guys, once Christine just pressed enter, what happened was country, state, the zip codes, the tax only, and state tax, which I believe is 8.5%. Yes. You can do the manually, but then again, that information should be always best that you consult the expertise of an accountant or somebody that knows taxes in your area. Do not go by this video because you might live in Vegas, you might live in Florida, you might live anywhere else. So we need to be very careful. So now let's move away from the section that nobody likes, which is taxes. Let's just scroll up and let's just go to staff accounts. So staff accounts is fun because of two reasons. That allows you to create extra accounts that you want to give access to somebody in your store. And why did we select this portion here first is because we all know that we might need help. So, but you don't want to give certain people access to your store. So let's just click again on the top where it says add new employee. That will allow you to create an account for somebody that might be your assistant or maybe your virtual assistant or maybe your business partner that wants to have control in certain areas of the store. So let's just put any name that you want. Maybe Robert. Is that Robert? Yeah.
Yes.
Robert Case. All right. So you can create an email address, or if you have his email address, you can actually add it there. And then that is the area where you want to have access. So if you want to give him store admin rights, perfect. But let's just go back there for a second, Christine, so we can show the options. The VA, a lot of people say, what is that VA? VA means virtual assistant. So virtual assistant order, virtual assistant customer support, or virtual assistant product only. And product only, I'm going to start from the bottom to the top. Product only is if you have, let's say, somebody adding products to your store. Let's say going to your products, your categories, selecting the categories and adding the products, you can give access to that person using that credentials. Customer support, they will have actually access only to certain areas with the email, and the contact form receives those messages. So they will be strictly accessing that portion. And of course, the orders. The VA orders will only be allowed to manipulate orders, and of course, just set the orders process, if it was shipped, if it was returned, all of the stuff that anybody that processing orders do. So now, since you want, and I believe Robert Case is your husband, so let's just put store admin and let's click save. And that will put Robert into the admin mode whenever he logs into the store, so he can see all areas of the store as well. And you see there, so he will probably get an invitation. He must have gotten the invitation already. So he's going to probably knock in that door and say, hey, I just got a very weird email about a store. Did you send me that? And just because you're laughing, I know it's true. He's going to probably just knock in a couple of seconds. And you see, I see the nodding on your head. It's like, yep, he's going to knock in. He's like, what is this? What did you got me into now?
Yeah.
All right. So let's just keep moving forward because we're almost over with this part, which is international. And, oh, actually, by the way, I'm jumping email. So let's just go to email. I'm sorry. This is also a cool part here because that's where we see all the nice settings for our emails. And in this area is where we customize every single portion of the emails that we send out to our customers, whether it's the contact form, whether it is an email, whether it is a request for a refund, whatever it is. When they place an order, we can customize every single message there. So if you keep scrolling down, you'll see that the type of message that you can send. You see change order, order confirmation, payment confirmation, reply. So please, whenever you have chance, take a closer look to each of them by clicking on the change button, and you can see the actual text on each email, and you can customize it to your store. Maybe add a couple of pictures and have fun with it. Because at the end of the day, it's your store. You want to make sure that you set the same tone, the same pace, and of course the same message. So let's just click on contact, for example, and click change, and you'll see what I'm talking about, how fun it is to change that. You see, right there is your editor. It's just the regular, what you get is editor. So you can just click on the areas and you can change, instead of message from a shop name, which will be your store name, you can say greetings from firemanson.com. And then you can just click save, and that will just change that header. And you see, it will have all the options there. But since it's a lot of areas to change, we're gonna just give that little piece of information there and click save, and you can maybe check later. And where that is happening is under the email settings. Please do not confuse this area with the abandoned cart. The abandoned cart settings are different, and we're going to be talking about those later on during the challenge. Now, since Christine has just closed that end, and we're going to just keep moving forward, now we're about to go into the international settings. Now, this is actually for all of international customers. because in some areas we have the options to change certain settings, meaning the countries where you can actually just work with your languages and your currencies. Languages are going to be updated, I believe, really soon. We're going to have French, Portuguese, and Spanish roll out, I believe. Donna, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that's the right order, right? It will be French and Spanish or Portuguese?
I have no idea on that, so I can't correct you. I don't know.
No, okay. Sorry to put you on the spot.
I am absolutely comfortable with saying I don't know, so
that's great.
No problem.
Awesome. No. It's just I know that there's been in the roadmap, but I just wanted to have that reassurance. But I'm in the same boat as you. I know that there were been a lot of discussions with languages, but they're going to be there. So now, as far as the countries, and I want you, Christine, to take a closer look since you're scrolling down. There are all the lists of the countries, and your site is available there. Now, there's one thing to remember for every single American merchant out there, or any single e-commerce store owner. There is a little list called the OFAC list, and that is the list where certain countries are prohibited of making business to the US. So why is this important? Because you cannot do trade with those countries. So it's always good to check on that list and make sure that you disable those countries. Why? Because you don't want to have an order from, I believe Sudan is on that list. And unfortunately, you cannot accept funds from Sudan, or you cannot send funds to Sudan. So you don't want to create a problem for yourself, especially when you're a small business owner. So that's one of the reasons why we have the settings here as far as the countries. So you can disable the countries. And David, can you do me a favor? I do believe that we have a link for the OFAC countries. I'm going to look for it, but I'm going to just probably put it in the recording because I don't have it out of the top of my head, but that's important for everybody to set up. The same thing with currencies. So as far, are you you're disabling the countries, right, Christine?
I just wanted to do, we're looking at just doing the US right now.
US and Canada?
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to forget our neighbors, hey?
Yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, just disable the rest and just do Canada. And I think it will be a good place to start. Once you start scaling your business, you can actually just see Europe, Latin America, and other areas. And of course, just being mindful of, laws and regulations. And the last one will be currencies. It will be the same because your store have the ability to accept other currencies. Same situation. You can activate any currency that you want. However, you want to be really mindful of the geographical area where you have your store. If you are in, let's say, the United Kingdom, you want to have as a default, which is at the very top of the page, you will see your default currency. You see right there, choose your default currency. Of course, United States will have the US dollar, but if you click on the drop down right there, Christine, you will see the other options that are activated. Some of them are not activated, so you can enable the international currencies. So if you do enable the international currencies, you will have a bunch of currencies that you can accept, but just be mindful of the geographical area. So you can be clear on that. And to activate those currencies, all that you do is just make sure that little dial button, it actually just moves to the blue section and it will activate all of the currencies. We don't want that right now, but it will activate all of them. So let's just put that back in the red position and click Save. And the last section right now will be our pixel feeds and embed codes. That's another episode because a lot of people always ask, how do I embed my pixel code? How do I embed my Google Analytics? And we're probably going to hook up the analytics right now. I think we have enough time right now to do that. And that will pretty much complete our setup for today. So can you scroll down a little bit, Christine, on your page, please? I believe you see you have Google Analytics. So, and I always be really adamant to activate at the very beginning of the process your analytics. And the reason why is, and as I always say, never make decisions on advertising based on gut feelings or, oh, I have a hunch about this. This product is going to be kick-ass. This product is going to do great. No. Always have some analytical backup on when and how to spend your advertising dollars. And I know that Donna will actually have something to say, but she's muted and she's nodding. So, Donna, what do you think about that? Is it important or not to have Google Analytics active in your store?
Absolutely. I think it's important. I really like data. So what Google Analytics will do is give you an indication of which item in your store is getting the most traction and traffic, getting the most eyeballs viewing that item. So it will help you know where to focus your attention on which items to improve when it comes to fixing your copy, maybe adding some new images. That's really the way that you will know what's exciting in your store, what people are looking at, what they're searching for, and allow you to make adjustments to the copy or the promotion there. Maybe you'll add a scarcity on those pages, or it might help you do a little research and see, oh, no one's landing on pages for this whole category of products. Nobody's interested in it at all. So you maybe decide that you're going to remove that category of products or not put any of your time and attention into developing it and focus on what people are naturally and organically going to and finding on your page. So absolutely.
Awesome. And as always, thank you. It's a great input. And that's why I believe it's important. So before we actually set up the Google Analytics, Christine, I would like to make sure of a question that I just got here. And I love when this happens because I believe, David, there was a question in regards if the process change of changing the DNS, because I believe it was Tina Joyner, and I don't know if I'm trying to look. Yes. She was following the original video regarding how to import your domains, and we have to go to Cloudflare to do this. So, Tina, the way that you do your domains for Groovekart is slightly different than we do it for Groovekart. You're talking about GrooveFunnels and all your pages, and you connect your GrooveFunnels domains through Cloudflare. In Groovekart, it works automatically. That's why the process was a little bit different. We connect using the DNS and a couple of very specific addresses. But in GrooveFunnels, it works that we need to connect it to Cloudflare and be more specific because it also controls the SSL and all those security features. In Groovekart, everything's automatic. And hopefully soon, we're going to have the same process for GrooveFunnels or for Groove Pages as well and GrooveFunnels. But I wanted to clarify that for her. I don't know, David, if that was addressed with her. Yep. David off camera is actually giving me the thumbs up. So I believe everything is all right. So let's move forward, Mrs. Case. And actually you say, yeah, Mrs. Case. Let's just click on the Setup Analytics button. You can click there in that blue box. And by the way, it's going to get connected in the same account as you connected your reCAPTCHA. So let's get to it. Did it do something that I'm not aware of happening?
Didn't do anything.
Did it take you somewhere else? Oh, yeah, it actually activated the boxes. So if you scroll down a little bit, maybe, was it up or down? There it is. So, slow down, Speedy.
Just down. If you look on the right-hand side, you'll see that save button. There you go.
Yeah. I don't know, but it looks like it's jumping from one side to the other. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Can you scroll a little bit up or maybe down?
Down. It's down. Scroll
down. Scroll down. All right. Really slow.
Stop.
Stop. Awesome. So now what we want to do, Christine, let's open up another tab and let's just go to analytics.google.com. I always enjoy this part because I'm just like Donna. I love data. I mean, data is just the lifeline for so many businesses. I just love to see how many people are in a website and all these crazy stuff.
So I just opened up another browser window while you were doing that because I was curious to see where, Google Analytics is not easy for a new person. There is a Google course called, hang on one second, I think it's Analytics Academy. Yeah.
Analytics Academy, yep.
They have Analytics Academy, which is, I'll drop the link in here into the chat for everyone. But also, I'm a member of Skillshare. I don't know if you guys are. I love Skillshare. I'm going to give like a little teeny tiny Skillshare commercial. You've probably heard it if you watch any videos on YouTube because they sponsor pretty much every vlogger out there. Skillshare is $100 a year, and there are so many courses. So I looked for Skillshare courses on Google Analytics, and there are about 30 of them, ranging from 30 minutes to 4 hours long. So if you're interested in pursuing Google Analytics training, I'm going to post Google's training link to you guys, but also keep in mind that Skillshare is a great resource for you. That's all.
Awesome.
Commercial over.
Very nice plugin for Skillshare. We all love Skillshare. I'm a member as well. So now, Christine, did you click
analytics?
.google.com.
Oh, .google. .google.
That will log you right in, or it will tell you to create the account if you don't have an account created. Ooh. How about if you just type analytics? Let's see where it takes us.
Just analytics?
Yeah, just do like a search for analytics. That will be the first link that appears there on your results. Google Analytics, the second result actually. Somebody beat them up for for the first position. All right, welcome to Google Analytics. As you see, is the same account that she was actually logged in earlier. So let's just set up for free analytics. By the way, yes, analytics is free. And it's a wealth of information, by the way. So let's just type in an account name. You can actually name it Fireman Zone. I think that would be a cool name for it. And if you scroll down, those are all pre-checked for you. And then just click Next. You're going to leave it as the web because you have webs, apps, and apps and webs. You don't have an app yet, so let's just do it for the web. Now scroll down and Next. And your website name. So again, firemanzone.com. Now on the website URL, let's use the HTTPS. I believe is secured, so don't forget to do that. And let's just put firemanzone.com as well. Now in the industry category, you can put retail, maybe, or if there's any option for online store, maybe you can do that as well. Store,
commodities. There's no retail.
How about e-commerce? Or I don't remember what we actually did with your store, Donna. Do you remember? No.
I don't remember.
You know what? Let's just put other. Just for the sake of argument, let's just put other.
Yeah. It just messes up their analytic data, not yours.
It was like, well, it's Fireman Zone, so it will probably just have a long range of information there. Then select your time and time zone, and then create. Of course, the last disclaimer that you're allowing Google to take a look at all your traffic and data, and accept. Now, you don't have to click any of those boxes if you don't want to. So you don't get a lot. I'm sorry?
Just save them.
Yeah, just save. All right, so now you can click no thanks. And you see that behind that, once you click that, you see the tracking ID. That's the ID that we need to copy into our settings so we can actually start tracking the information. So let's just copy that, and let's go back to the store. And I believe you don't need, yeah, you need that user ID. So I believe everything is all set. Let's just click save.
Okay.
And it will just reload everything in a second. And can you just click save again? I don't know why it didn't just do what I was thinking that it will do. Okay, it saved successfully. So let's just go back to the analytics page for a second, and let's take a look to see if that is tracking. Now remember, we just changed the DNS on the domain, so I am not 100% sure that it will start tracking right now, but if it does, it will actually show up in here. And I remember that, Christina, correct me if I'm wrong, but you had another store with that domain name in the system already, right?
Yes, I did.
That you used before. So it might not be connected to the right store. It hasn't been propagated yet. But we can test it, next week and make sure that everything is processing with analytics. So, guys, right there is how you get your analytics. And that's how you put it in the Groovekart. And that kind of completes the session because we are now done with the setup page. Christine has done a fantastic job today. She didn't speed up like somebody that I know and I'm thinking about and I'm looking at does, but I don't want to mention what Donna Fox is. So she actually is doing an amazing job. And right now, that's how you set up your store. So now, Christine, if you don't mind, let me have the controls on the display. David, can you do me a favor? Can you switch it over, if you don't mind? Thank you very much. So let's just recap on what did we do today. So we did the setup. We put the store information, the logos. Well, the logo, but we didn't do because we don't have a logo yet. We're going to do it next week. Payment methods, domain name, staff accounts, contact form, which we set up, international settings, and of course, I left out the analytics in my slide. But I will add it and I'll add it into the document that is going to be linked on our videos. Also, as I mentioned, along the process, we're going to have the taxes and shipping more in depth. So now that we have completed the setup, tell me how you're feeling, Christine.
Feel really good. I feel confident that, actually I learned because I didn't know about the Google Analytics the way it was set up here. So I learned something totally different today and I'm feeling really good. Thank you.
Awesome. And you're going to keep feeling good because we'll still have another 7 days of this same fun. So, and along with going the process, we're going to be discovering more new things because we're going to be talking about your colors, how you want your store set up, how you're going to see your products. The product creation is going to be a biggest part because I'm kind of just taking a little bit on the creative side to help you out. And I'm working on a couple of samples and a couple of things. So we will see those once we get there, which I believe is in week 3, where we do product creation. So now is around 7:15, 7:16, and let's just do Q&A. Shall we, David? Do we have any questions? And he's nodding and he's giving me thumbs up. Isn't it easier if you go on camera, my friend?
I popped in a couple of questions for you to answer in the private chat, so in case you want to
Awesome,
follow.
perfect. Yeah, I do have. I believe it's 5 questions. So
So the first
awesome.
two we answered, but then the third, fourth, and fifth, these are quite good questions.
Actually, perfect. Let's see. Carrie Liam set up PayPal. I hope Carrie Lee just noticed when we did the process today that she will probably see the same situation when she set up the PayPal. So she can get out of the sandbox. You don't want to actually send any payments to the sandbox ever. It's a nightmare. Now, Michael Ramirez asked, can a store change automatically by the geographic location of a visitor? Unfortunately, no. That would be part of geotagging, and unfortunately right now we don't support that. It will be a great feature to have, definitely, but unfortunately it doesn't do that. What it does, it can actually just maybe set up the languages of the countries that you might want to probably offer your services or products. You can do that, but unfortunately it cannot switch. There is actually an option. I don't remember the name of the service, but it will kind of automatically just provide certain things that in certain areas of the world you can probably show your visitors. But we haven't really tested with Groovekart, so I don't even want to venture to say that that might work. So unfortunately, that's not something that we have right now. But as I said, it will be a great recommendation. So don't forget to visit the Canny. And I'm going to put the link in as a response so you can actually request that feature. And if it's voted enough and some of the people find value on your request, then it will be passed to the development team and they can actually just maybe have it for you. Now, next question. Margaret asked, apart from GroovePay, which other payment gateway it's okay to supplement sales? That is actually a very good question. Supplements are a tricky business right now. And when I say tricky, it's actually quite hard to get certain approvals if you're a new store. So there are many options. And on what you can do, you can, of course, talk to GroupPay. Authorize.net might also do that. And I believe a couple of options that we have available for you in the payment sections, they might probably have an account for you. But one thing that I'm going to just say is this. If you're a new store owner and you haven't have experience selling supplements, unfortunately, the option to get approved by a merchant right now is very complicated. I know there's a lot of waiting times. There is a lot of situations that they will ask you for documentation. So it's a little bit tricky. So we're trying to make sure that whenever you send an application in GroupPay, the process is completed properly. But then again, we have to go by what Visa and Amex and MasterCards and all of those big companies required in order to accept payments. So please bear with us in that end. But unfortunately, there's no other option at the moment that we can connect with as far as the supplement sales. And I believe the last question we have is Anthony Shermeta says, do we have the ability to create multiple stores? Yes, you do. However, at the moment, you can buy an extra license or a pack of 3 or a pack of 4. You can always send us an email to support@groovekart.com. I'm sorry, groovedigital.com. And we can actually answer that. We're going in a case per case kind of request, because there are plans to do something else with Groovekart, but we're going to make sure that what we do and what we offer is fair for everybody. So just send us a link if you're interested to get a new store or an extra store. Please let us know in support, and we'll be able to actually help you there. Now, let's see. We have more comments. We do have a couple more minutes to do QA. Oh, let me just change this slide. So we have QA. Any other questions, David? Any comments, Mrs. Fox, today? Or Christine, please? I see you too quiet, Christine. You just look staring at that screen and said, I did this, and I'm going to keep doing it. So
I'm just admiring everything. I'm just excited that this is. I just can't get over it right now. But I think that the store, because I have 2 other stores, the ease of this store is amazing. It took me days to get my other one set up, and I was asked today actually on another question, and they asked me how is the ease, because when you say it's easy for one person, that still doesn't make it easy for another person. So I can say this is super easy because I am not that familiar with setting up a Shopify. I tried it and it did not work for me. Then I tried another one, but for one that I did, it took me days to do it. And when I went in on my first one that I was trying to do for my jewelry, I actually could figure it out. I went in, I clicked around, I watched a couple of videos, and then I was able to I actually had it set up for my jewelry, and it was very easy. So if somebody says that how easy is it, it is super easy. And this is really, really easy.
Nice.
And you know what? It makes me so glad that you're bringing that up, because a lot of people are telling me every day. I get hundreds of emails on a weekly basis. This is not for me. This is just too complicated. I said, like, nope. If you start doing something, take a look at the videos. I mean, and this is why right after we did it with Donna, even though Donna had no idea how to work with her store, now I can confidently say that, hey, she's comfortable telling somebody, hey, how to do this. And she's been doing that. Believe it or not, she's been helping us also with some stuff in support. And she's confident now that, hey, I know how to do this because I did it. So I know by the end of the actual challenge with you, Christine, you're going to be a master of the Groovekart and everything that is entailed. Because also, for those who don't know, Christine Case is an author. And I found today, actually, as a matter of fact, I was just me snooping around on the web, and I typed her name in Google, and I was like, wow, she has an interview with Les Brown on her website. And I've been following Les Brown since I have use of my mind. And I was like, wow, that would have been so cool. So you see, guys, we got the perfect person to showcase our easy breezy setup store in Groovekart.
Actually, Christine is the reason Les Brown is a GrooveFunnels user.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah.
wow.
Thank you, Christine.
And I actually this last week I also signed up, was able to share this with the CEO, and the COO. She signed up, so we have 2 Les Brown people now. So I'm
Nice.
excited.
That's awesome.
Nice. And just funny enough, I know the high school that Les Brown went,
Oh,
because he is a Floridian. He actually was raised here in Florida. So
yeah.
When I saw that interview today, I was like, wow, really? This is awesome. And I know that we couldn't have picked a better person. And because you earned it, you actually just did an awesome, awesome essay. So I hope that by the end of this situation, this process, you are going to be as successful as can be. So, all right, guys.
I found it. At least with your guys' help, I will get there.
Oh, definitely. And we're glad to hear that. And of course, Donna, myself, and David will do whatever it takes to help you out there and make sure that you learn a lot of these stuff and make sure that your store or stores continually are successful. Now, guys, right now it's 7:26. We have 4 minutes. David, do we have any other questions?
I saw one from Darcy that I want to answer. Oh, I'm sorry, David. I'm not David. I'll be quiet.
No, I just wanted to say that there's a question on the screen, and it was answered actually by one of our users. And I want to say Shelly found the answer, and she was the one who actually saw it and then answered it immediately. So the person that you see on the screen at this point, this is Curious Carl, as John named him. And Curious Carl sometimes asks questions. And when you see a question from Curious Carl, be sure to answer it first, because this is like a internal game that we have during these Groovekart challenges. And then at this point, only one answer came back, because I believe she knew it from last time, and this is
From
Sherry
last
Litka. She actually answered the curved arrow icon reloads the page. So very good job, Shelly.
Awesome. And you know what? I left them on this when I was working with the graphics for the presentations. That, you know what, I want to just pop them up to see what people say. And I'm so glad that people remember Curious Call. So, and I'm glad that people are paying attention as well. So that's awesome. And by the way, Dwight is asking where the customization for the header is coming. Dave is going to come up soon. And I know some people have sent me an email to my corporate email, and I still have to go through around 1,200 emails about the code. I will be sending the code soon to everybody that requested it. So I'm just doing a couple of tweaks to that, so we can have the colors section on our headers change via CSS. So, and Carolee Petrovsky says, is there a way to change our subdomain that we chose when we first signed up? Of course there is. All that you need to do, Carolee, is send us an email to support@groovedigital.com. Tell us the subdomain that you currently have to the subdomain that you want, and of course, we'll have that done for you within the next 48 to 72 hours. Why that long, you might ask? Because we need to make sure that everything propagates properly and your setup and your store moves completely fine. So, guys, anything else to add before we wrap up today? Oh, I'm forgetting.
Yes. I want to answer Darcy's question. Darcy asked what the difference is between categories and tags. And I think that is kind of a really awesome question, because there's a lot of overlap between them. But here's a kind of general rule for the difference between categories and tags. Categories are for humans, tags are for robots. Categories are for humans, tags are for robots. Categories allow you to organize your items in your store in a way that makes logical, by subject, by category. So it's up to you to choose what that is, but it could be apparel, and then a subcategory might be t-shirts, or it could be apparel and a subcategory might be women's versus men's apparel. You know, those categories are up to you, but really it is done for logical reasons. If someone is navigating your site, it will help them find those products in related products, and when they go to a particular category in your navigation. The tags are good for searching. So that will help you with your SEO. Adding tags to your product will allow someone who's maybe not navigating your category, but going into the search bar to try to find something. That's when tags will really shine. And also when your site gets indexed, all of those tags will show up in the search results for when your site is showing up in search. So categories are also good for search, and tags are also good for, well, tags really aren't good for people because they won't see them, but if they search your site, the tags will come up in addition to the categories. So there is overlap, but I think that's a really good question. And if you think about it that way, you can add way more tags to a product than you can categories. So keep that in mind, that you can add a bunch of tags in, and that helps the search engines know not only what your site is about, but then also find that product.
John, there's another question from Darcy that I've seen multiple times in our Facebook group, and I believe this would be good to answer it. So she's asking, is there a way to rotate the product photo? I imported a vertical photo, but it shows it horizontally in the store. Is this an issue, or is there a way to actually work around this?
I will definitely have to take a look at the store to see exactly what's going on. So I'm sorry, I don't remember the name of the person.
Darcy.
So Darcy, please do me a favor, send me an email to support@groovedigital.com and put a note in there, attention John Garcia, so I can take a closer look, because we've been receiving situations that people, when our customers upload the pictures, sometimes they're either too big, too small. So I just want to make sure that I get to the root of the issue, so we can get a correct, process in how to fix it. So perfect. What else can we answer?
There was another question from Darcy as well. Remind me, when will there be a CSV product import capability?
I'm sorry. Can I have that again?
So just she's interested, when is the CSV product import coming to Groovekart?
Oh, we did discuss that last time, or maybe the week before. We have the export capability. The import capability is still in the works. I believe is going to become part of that soon. So that will be something that we will be announcing as we go. There is another couple of questions. Let's see. Can I transfer my domain to the group from Davey? You don't transfer domains. All that you do is you just point your DNSs. You can keep your domain anywhere in GoDaddy, Namecheap, anywhere else you actually want, and you can actually just point them to their stores. Okay, I'm real some date. I can't discuss another time. Davey Paul, so well, we can actually do it next week. Same time, same channel, and we'll be here. Carlos Zavala. I just realized Groovekart is pressed to shop is not 100% from code. Any explanation? Sure. Actually, that is our base or foundation. I mean, that will be the only explanation that there is to it. And the functionality has been improved over pretty much the year and a half, 2 years that we have used that as our core. I just got here, need to review last week. Is in the group. Yes, Ken, Denino, all of our videos are actually in the channel and YouTube as well. So you can get us there. Carolee, have a great night. And Eldon, hey Eldon, how are you? Always nice to see you here. And thank you for Christine. Eldon says hi because you're a great host. And again, you've been doing a great job. It was amazing to have you here, and I know it's going to be fun to have you in the next upcoming weeks. So the assignment for the week, guys, set up your store. We know we're all busy. We have kids. We have our jobs. Just follow the procedure, follow the steps that Christine kindly followed today. And that's pretty much the assignment for the week. Now, Donna, David, anything else that you would like to add?
Not from me.
Nope, we're good.
Awesome. All right, guys. Christine, anything that you would like to just say to all our users?
Just work on that store and be back next week.
Awesome. All right. Okay, guys, with that said, right now it's 7:35. Time for us to have dinner. Have a great night, and we'll see you next week.
See you. Bye-bye.